Hello, it is Topical Tuesday, July 13th, 2021. Steve Sipress here, and today is the Major League Baseball All-Star Game here in the US of A. Our national pastime, or that's what it was called for years. Pretty much pro football took over years ago, but still known as the national pastime, Major League Baseball. And now that I think about it, I have a feeling the game is probably even over, almost over. I mean, undoubtedly it started. Now that I'm here on the West Coast, even though the game is being played in nearby in Colorado, it's likely it started very early Colorado time, like 5 o'clock or something, to get it over with fairly early on the East Coast before people fall asleep. I did see on the news that one of my beloved New York Mets players, Pete Alonso, repeated as the home run derby champion, smashing all kinds of baseballs all over the place, and won the contest for the second year in a row. I did not watch tonight's game. In fact, you probably could pay me, but I don't know what the amount is to watch a Major League Baseball game, or even to go to the website of Major League Baseball, or especially ESPN, or any of these ridiculous companies that are deciding to play politics instead of just play sports. Now, here's the thing. Major League Baseball is a much understatement of the century, a much more complex business, likely, than yours, if you're watching this video, unless you own Amazon or something. So the Major League Sports Leagues that have all gone wacko, NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball now, mixing all kinds of left-wing politics with their sports, which really alienates their base of customers, because for the most part, of course, left-wing liberals are not sports fans. They're not into competition. They're not into people, punching each other, MMA. You're not going to find a lot of liberals going, yeah, I love people beating each other up and, win at all costs, and I love competition. And no, of course, everyone has to get along and all that kind of stuff. And socialism, I don't see why the New York Yankees should have all those great players. They should have to give them away to each according to their needs. So other teams need left fielders, give them a good left fielder. Don't be putting them all on one team. That's win disparity. There is so much winning disparity in sports. I can get on and I'll go on and on. But basically, here's the deal. These sports leagues have made a decision. They have lots of different constituencies to please, right? So do they please their customers? Do they please their employees, right? Their employees, for the most part, are these woke, ridiculous leftists like LeBron James and so forth. So Colin Kaepernick, talk about a deranged, and completely stupid human being. But he walks around acting all, left-wing. He wears a T-shirt of, like, Che Guevara, like murderous left-wing, murderer. He wore, like, a Castro shirt, like another murdering left-wing communist. Like, really? So, the sports leagues have to think, do we please our employees? Because if they walk out and refuse to play, then our billions of dollars worth of everything goes nowhere. So we've got to, they're not easily replaceable like a McDonald's employee that walks out, pretty easily replaceable, in fact, completely replaceable by a kiosk or a robot. And soon enough, these restaurants will stop complaining if they can't find workers, because they'll just speed up all the automation, robotics, and so forth. But I'm not so sure it's anywhere near time in the near future where we're going to have robots playing sports, the main sports, likely to still be humans. So the owners of the teams have to really please their employees so that they have a business. They don't have replaceable employees, even at the expense, and I'm sure they agonized over this, the expense of knowing they're alienating their customer base when they kowtow to the Colin Kaepernicks, the woke idiot liberals of the world, which really alienates their customer base. But what are they going to do? They also have to please their investors, their sponsors. They have to please the media. They have to please Congress. Now, Congress is out talking, big game about how, conservative Congress people saying, we ought to get together and have a hearing on whether we should remove the baseball antitrust exemption. And therefore, they can be sued for antitrust. And there's all kinds of practices baseball won't be able to do. Reminiscent, by the way, that I wrote my honors thesis way back in college on baseball's antitrust laws. I was a liberal studies. I went to a liberal studies college. I was a American studies major, so baseball, very American. And I had a legal studies minor and went on to law school. And so the antitrust clause, that's legal. So there it was. Something legal and American. I wrote about baseball antitrust. That's years ago. But anyway, so they have this exemption. Baseball is the only sport has this exemption that they can do all kinds of monopolistic practices, and they can't be sued. They have an exemption from Congress. So Congress, they got to please Congress so they don't lose that. They got to please their sponsors. They got to please their investors. They got to look good to Wall Street. They got to look good to the media. Got to look good to the politicians. They got to look good to their fans. They got to look good to their employees. All kinds of constituencies they're attempting to please. They're kind of damned if they do, damned if they don't. As soon as they get into politics, I mean, much better off to just stay out of it. And then they could have just said, we're not getting involved on either side of anything. But once they made that mistake and got into it, they just went down the road. And NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball lost tons of fans, tons of revenue. Will they replace it? Does it matter? Whatever revenue comes from fans in the seats or selling the souvenirs is replaced by the big money from sponsors and TV. And the value of the teams keep going up. So the teams are worth billions of dollars. But the lesson is, your business likely not nearly as complex. So the question always is every day, as you know, do you please your customers, patients, clients, members, whatever they are to you, or do you please your employees when situations come up? And usually, you're going to please your customers. You're going to say things like, the customer's always right. And you're going to say to your employees, yeah, but that's what we got to do. We got to go over and above. I know you don't like doing it, but we got to do it for the employees, blah, 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 blah. So that's my advice is usually, there are exceptions, but you want to always lean towards pleasing your customers. Think of your customers, your clients, your patients, your members. Think of them first. Not what's easiest for you or what you like, what your employees like. Hopefully it's close to the same. Hopefully it is the same. Hopefully it's close to the same. But if it isn't, there really is never a question. It's what's best for the client. And if that bothers you so much, then you simply have to start delivering a different deliverable, different product or service with a different clientele, so you can get more in line with your personal beliefs and your employees' beliefs with what they like to do. Have that in line with what the clients like to receive. But if it's at all out of line, if you ask me, it's got to come down on the side of what's best for the client, which is totally not what's happening in the major sports world. They are not doing what's best for their clients. They're doing what's best for all the different constituencies. You likely have a much simpler business. Take advantage of that. Focus on what is most important, which is pleasing your clients, your customers, your patients, your members. They come first. I think we kind of know that as entrepreneurs, right? If we got to stay late because somebody comes into the store a minute before closing, you have a choice. You can say, well, we're closing in 1 minute, and then they'll never come back. They'll go on social media and tell everybody what a jerk you are. Or you're going to be 15 minutes late to dinner that night for your family and your dinner and your free time because you're going to do what's best for the client. And there's thousands more examples just like that. So I think we all live by that. If we're really doing it right, we're doing what's best for the client. Do not pay attention to the pro sports world that is, or even the amateur sports world, all this Olympic nonsense going up. I mean, you have the most patriotic sporting event there is in the entire world for every country. They march in with their flag, they're wearing their country's uniform, they're representing their country, and yet you have these spoiled brat kid, they don't, I was an idiot when I was a kid, they don't know any better. So they're like, oh, I hate the flag, oh, we're a terrible country, I don't want to salute the anthem and have respect, stand still, put my hand on I'm not going to I might have been as stupid when I was a kid. Who knows, right? But we have all that going on, and again, very complex. Do they kick them off the team? Do they do something? Whatever, because the viewers certainly want to see their country represented by someone who actually at least doesn't hate the country. Although maybe not, because we keep electing, representatives, government officials who hate the country. So who knows? Anyway, that's it. That's my thoughts today on Topical Tuesday, the day of the Major League Baseball All-Star Game, on how Major League Baseball relates to you running your business. That'll do it for today. I'll be back tomorrow on World Wide Web Wednesday. I'll give you some tips on how to make money for your business using the internet. Enjoy the rest of your day. We're having a beautiful sunset here. All the colors, as usual, not being caught on the camera all too well, but we have some beautiful orange, yellow, purple sunset going on. Hope it's great wherever you are too, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Over and out. Bye-bye.